Welcome to this video about the neighboring rights. Most of the questions concerning rights are always about copyrights. Totally logical, because this is the most known, and as explained in the video about copyright, it also has a very long history. Less known are the neighboring rights, which are also pretty young. So let me start with explaining what the differences are between copyrights and neighboring rights, because I think that's the best way to introduce the topic. Okay, we know it's about collecting money, but collecting money of what exactly? Copyrights are for the composers and authors of a song, and collected for every way of playing, selling and performing music. So CDs, live performances, sheet music, music in shops, etc., etc. Neighboring rights are the neighbors of the copyrights and have been invented to also reward the musicians that are performing on the recording, and also the persons or companies who paid for the recording. So the live performances and the sheet music are not in the game of neighboring rights. And I will repeat, the live performances and the sheet music are not in the game of neighboring rights, which is very important to understand and also to remember. Neighboring rights are collected for music that has been commercially released and also played publicly. So for example, when an artist records a song, the final product of the song is called the master recording. Every time that the master recording is played in public, the owner of the master and the performing musicians are entitled to receive money according to the Neighboring Rights Act. So, the main question is, who are paying for the neighboring rights? Well, we have radio stations who are paying, TV stations, cable companies, webcasters, background music suppliers, well, companies like cafes, restaurants, shops, fitness, schools, whatever. So all these companies play music in public and have to pay. Then, again, the question, who is getting paid? Neighboring rights money goes to the two parties which are often called, on the one hand, the artist, and on the other hand, the producer. Many people find these names rather misleading, and that's also logical, because when people say artist, they usually mean the main artist itself. So when people say the artist is Ed Sheeran, then they will only see Ed Sheeran, but the record is also made by more musicians. So in this specific case, it means the main artist, but also all the session musicians who are playing on the recording. So the other one was the producer. And when people speak about producer, they usually mean the person who is creatively responsible for the music. But in this case, it means that it's the person or company who is financially responsible. So not creatively, but financially responsible for the recording. And he's owning the master recording because he paid for it. So, in short, the neighboring rights are paid in a 50-50 split to, on the one hand, the producer, who paid for it, and the artist, so which is the main artist and all the musicians that played on the recording. So sometimes it appears, sometimes there is a case that there's an artist who is also paying for the master recording. In that case, the artist will receive the full 100% of the neighboring rights. Then one question I got from a student of mine, which is a good question. The question was, how do they know a song is played publicly? Because it's kind of hard to track. Due to the fact that we are living in a digital world, tracks are quite easy to follow. The reason is that because when the track is mastered, it will receive a sort of birthmark. This birthmark is so-called ISRC, which stands for International Standard Recording Code. So this International Standard Recording Code is a unique number for every master recording. So every time a song is played on, for instance, the radio, the Neighboring Rights Collecting Society gets a notification that the song has been played, and also how long the song has been played. Okay, let's go one step further and say, okay, what is an ISRC code? How is it set up? Well, the setup of this code is as follows. You start with the land code, then you have the master owner code, then you have the 2 digits of the year of mastering, and then the serial number. So, for instance, if you have a master owner from the Netherlands, which has the code AA1, it's the year 2020, and it's his first master recording in the year of 2020. Then the code would be, he's from the Netherlands, so it would be NL. His code was AA1, so it would be NL minus AA1 minus the year 20, and then minus the serial number, which is the first one, which could be something like 00001. So NL AA1 20 That would be the first ISRC code of his company, of the producer. So, well, IRC is, well, something on a side note, but ISRC is not only for neighboring rights. It's also used for monitoring the streams per song on the platforms like Spotify and Deezer, etc. Okay, let's do it in a nutshell. Every master has a unique code, so it can be identified. This code is called the ISRC. When this master recording is played in public, the musicians and master owners are entitled to the released money. When neighboring rights have been collected by a neighboring rights collecting society, the money will be forwarded to the musicians who played on the record and the company or person who financed the recording. Okay, well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and please make sure to watch the other videos about the music industry. Cheers.